So, in our last lecture, I discussed about estimation of national income through income method. But there are some difficulties to measure the national income through income method. One difficulty is that it is very difficult for the government to identify all the units participating in the production process, specifically in the case of labor. And whenever we are considering the unorganized labor force, it is very difficult to find out the data regarding them. And in the developing countries, there is a huge number of workers whose income or the contribution not properly recorded. So that's why to solve this type of problem, there is another method which is known as expenditure method. So today we will discuss about the expenditure method of estimating national income. So instead of identifying different individual units of production, or instead of identifying different factors of production, it is much easier for the government to find out the market, to take the data of market regarding the commodities which are finally sold in the market. So it is better for the government to estimate the data, and it is easier for the government also, because there are some records of the transaction regarding purchase and sale of different commodities. So here the government will find out total expenditure in the market, and from that, within the domestic market, from that we can go to national income by different steps, by some additions and the subtractions. So here, whenever we are considering the total expenditure in a country, their expenditures can be classified in 4 types. So number 1 is known as consumption expenditure. So consumption expenditure means, remember that we can call it consumption if this is the final usage of the good. So consumption expenditure, it has 2 components. A is the first marketed goods. The first marketed goods include the different types of food items, different types of cosmetics, soap, shampoo, all are included into first marketed goods. Toothpaste, toothbrush. And second part is we call it the consumer durable goods. So those goods once purchased, that can be used for a long time. For example, the television, refrigerator, air conditioner. So these are the examples of consumer goods. So if we find the expenditure on first marketed goods and the consumer durable goods, we get the total consumption expenditure in the economy. Second expenditure component is private investment. So private investment is normally known as the addition to the stock of capital in one particular time period. So normally we consider one financial year or one calendar year. So private investment means, normally how can we measure the private investment in accounting sense? We call it just like this: closing stock minus opening stock of capital. To be more specific in economics, we can categorize the investment into two major components. So one is known as, we call it business fixed capital formation, and another is known as the inventory. So business fixed capital formation, that has also its two components. So first is the residential and non-residential constructions. So what is the example of residential constructions? If a company that constructs a housing for the employees, so that is the part of residential construction. And non-residential construction means normally the warehouses, the factories, the godowns. These are the examples of non-residential construction. And another is the purchase of machineries. The purchase of different machineries is also a part of the private investment. This is the part of the business fixed capital formation. And now what is the inventory? Inventory normally refers to the stock adjustment, mainly to deal with the situation at which there is mismatch between the demand and supply. For example, that means simply to maintain the unsold stock for any type of market fluctuations in the market. So if there is, so that, for example, what is the significance of inventory stock? So whenever there is excess demand in the market, you cannot immediately cover the demand by increasing the production. So that time you have to use your inventory stock. So every firm maintains its own inventory stock, and the addition to the stock of inventory is known as inventory investment. So these are the two parts of private investment. These are the two components of private investment. One is business fixed capital formation, which has two components: residential and non-residential constructions, and the purchase of machineries. And here another is the inventory investment. Now there is another part which we call the public expenditure. So third component is known as public expenditure. So public expenditure has also its two components. So first component is, we call it government purchase of goods and services. The government purchase of goods and services includes the employment of people in the administrative machinery. This is the government purchase of services from the common people. Sometimes the government takes the service of different private sector enterprises. The government is purchasing different commodities from public sector enterprises, that is, private sector. For example, the government gives the farmers remunerative price to purchase food grains for the public distribution system in developing countries. So this is one component of the government purchase of goods and services. And another thing is called the public investment. That is another component of government expenditure, public investment. Normally public investment means the government projects. It includes the roadways, railways, the establishment of the harbors, airports, the public health system, public education system. So all are the components of public investment. So public investment is just like the private investment, but here investment is done by the government. And in the developing countries, public investment that constitutes a significant role of the market expenditure, because normally we see that there are different projects which we call social overhead capital, in which the private sector enterprises don't want to invest, because such type of projects need huge investment and the time of recovery is very long. So in such situation, these investments are to be done by the government. So this is called the public investment. So whenever we take these two parts, sum total is called public expenditure. We call it G in the economy. And the next thing is, next component is, we call it net export, or in other words we call it balance of trade. The balance of trade is normally meant as X minus M, where X stands for value of exports and M stands for value of imports. So remember that why we add exports? Because these are the values of the commodities which are produced within our domestic boundary, but those are not realized here. Okay, so these commodities go out of our country, but their value should be added. And imports means these commodities are sold in our market, but these are not produced within the domestic boundary. These are coming from the rest of the world. So we have to add export and we have to subtract the import. So if we add 4 components, that means C, which stands for private consumption, I stands for private investment, G stands for public expenditure, and X minus M stands for net export. If we add these 4 components of expenditure, we get it GDP-MP. So what is the definition of GDP-MP? The value of goods and services produced within the domestic boundary of a country in a particular time period. So we can normally take a financial year. Sometimes GDP is measured on the basis of a quarter. Sometimes GDP is measured on the basis of a month. But normally it is measured on the basis of a particular time period. That means normally one financial year. So GDP-MP, or the gross domestic product at market price, this is a flow concept. And remember that everything here, consumption, private investment, government expenditure, and the net export, everything is measured in terms of market prices. So if we want to come to the income, national income, we have to make some adjustment. That means additions and subtractions with this GDP-MP. So here remember that national income means the value of the sum of income earned by the domestically owned factors of production. But here in GDP-MP, all the commodities are not produced by the domestically owned factors of production. Because one thing we have to remember, all the domestically owned factors of production are not operating inside our domestic market. This is point number 1. And point number 2 is that all the factors of production which are operating inside our domestic market are not our domestically owned factors of production. So for example, any US multinational company which is operating, that may operate outside US. And similarly in the US market, there are many multinational corporations from other countries are operating. So that's why in first stage what we will do, we will convert GDP-MP into GNP-MP. So GNP-MP is known as the value of goods and services produced by the domestically owned factors of production in a particular financial year. So GNP and GDP, what is the difference? GDP-MP, or gross domestic product at market price, indicates the value of goods and services which are produced within the domestic boundary. Whereas the GNP-MP indicates the value of goods and services which are produced by the domestically owned factors of production of a country. So here what we have to do with GDP-MP, if we are considering the national income of USA, so what we have to do, we have to make one adjustment. We have to add the income of US factors from abroad, and we have to subtract income of foreign factors, income of foreign factors in USA. That means what? So we are adding the contribution of US factors outside US, and we are subtracting the income of foreign factors inside US. So whenever we do this, this is known as the net factor income from abroad. So what do we do here? In this case, we will do GDP-MP, and whenever we will add any net factor income from abroad, we will get the term GNP-MP. So in first stage, we calculate GDP-MP by adding the four components: consumption plus private investment plus government expenditure plus net export. Then what I will do, I will just add net factor income from abroad with GDP-MP, and we will get the concept of GNP-MP, gross national product and market price. Now, in the next step, to move to national income, the next step is that every year there is some depreciation value of the machineries. That means the wear and tear of the machineries. So here, first what we have to do, we have to do gross national product at market prices minus, if we subtract the depreciation value, we will get the net national product at market prices. So in the market price, we measure the net value of goods and services which are being produced by the domestically owned factors of production. So this is called net national product at market price. So now the last stage, we will come to the national income. So what is national income? This is the net value of goods and services produced by the domestically owned factors of production. But remember that this is measured in the market price. So whenever we will convert it into the factor cost, that means cost of production in terms of whenever we are rewarding the factors. So simple thing is that in any sector, whenever we find out the factor cost of production, that means the factor cost means what? The amount of money paid to different factors as they were reward. And we know that there are four factors of production: land, labor, capital and organization. So for land it goes rent, for labor it goes wage, for capital it goes interest, and for organization it goes as profit. So, but what makes the difference between market price and factor cost? Now we have to introduce two more terms. One is indirect tax and another is subsidy. So if government imposes indirect tax on any commodity, the market price will be definitely more than the factor cost, because we know that indirect tax means the form of tax, the burden of which can be shifted to other parties. So whenever the government is imposing the indirect tax on the producers, that is transferred to the consumers in form of increased price. So the difference between market price and factor cost is the one thing is indirect tax, and another thing is that the government does not impose indirect tax on all sectors of production. In some sectors of production, government provides subsidy. So in that case, what we will find? The market price will be factor cost minus subsidy. So whenever we are going to find out the net national product at factor cost from net national product at market price, we have to use another term which we call net indirect taxes. So net indirect tax means what? Total volume of indirect tax minus total volume of subsidy. So whenever we will do it, we will get as NIT, net indirect tax. So whenever we will subtract the net indirect taxes from NNP-MP, we will get net national product at factor cost. So factor cost means what? The reward of the factors. This is measured in terms of the reward of the factors. So NNPFC is what? The value of goods and services produced by the domestically owned factors of production of a country in a particular financial year. But this value is measured in terms of factor cost or the reward of the factors. So that means NNPFC is nothing but the national income of a country. Because in any production, whatever is the factor cost, that is indirectly that is the earning of the factors. So net national product at factor cost is the sum of the earnings of different factors, or the sum of the incomes, to be precise, better to say sum of the incomes of different factors while participating in the production process. So this is our expenditure method, in which first we calculate the different components of expenditure. So first we consider in the domestic market different commodities are sold, and we categorize it into 4 different components of expenditure: private consumption, private investment, public expenditure and net export. And from there, gradually step by step, we will find out the national income. Remember that in this method there are some precautions to measure national income through expenditure method. So first is that we should always consider only the final goods and services. If we consider also if we consider also the intermediate goods and services, that will create the problem of double counting. So the best example there is that if MRF is producing the tires and the Toyota is purchasing tires from MRF to produce their car. So if we measure the tires, once we measure the tires sold by MRF to Toyota, and again we are measuring the value of the cars produced by the Toyota, then whenever we are measuring the cars produced by Toyota company, that already includes the value of tires that Toyota is purchasing from MRF. So if we separately again calculate the value of the tires that is sold by MRF company to Toyota company, then there will be the double counting of the tires. So that's why we have to only measure the value of final goods and services, not the intermediaries. Okay, so we should not include the intermediaries goods. So intermediary means what? The commodities, the goods which are being used for the production, for any further production. So for example, just I have given the example. This is the production of tire is produced by MRF company, and Toyota company is later purchasing the same tire to construct their car. So whenever we are considering the construction of cars or the production of cars by Toyota, then what we see, the tires sold by MRF, that is the intermediary good. So this should be excluded. Second thing, we should consider only the purchase and sale of goods and services which are produced in this particular year. So that means any second-hand, if purchase or sale of any second-hand good should not be included. For example, if I purchased a car in 2018 and now I am selling the car in 2020. So it was already included. In 2020 I am there. Whenever we are considering the sale of this car, this is not synonymous of to production. The car is not produced now. What I am doing, whenever I am selling the car, I am just transferring the ownership of car to somebody else against money. This car was already included whenever we were calculating the national income, 2018. So that means purchase or sale of second hand good, that should be excluded. That should not be included, because that is not synonymous to production of goods and services. That is just the transfer of ownership from one hand to another. But in this process, if we use any agency, use the service of any agency. So for example, I am hiring one middleman to find out consumer for me, or customer for me. So whatever I will pay the middleman as the commission, that will be included into national income, because that time the agent is giving me some service against which I am paying him. So in this case, number 3, in this instance, that means the reward of middleman that should be included, because this is a fresh service in this financial year. So number 4, you should remember that any commodity which is used for which is produced for self consumption, that should also be included. So commodities produced for self consumption. So if I grow vegetable right now for self consumption, though it is not properly marketed, but these vegetables have some market value. Okay, so whenever we are calculating the national income, we have to estimate the market value of the vegetables that I have produced for self consumption. So these things are to be remembered whenever we will estimating national income through expenditure method. So remember that we have to consider final goods and services. Number 2, the second hand goods, once it is sold, it is included into national income. Once a fresh commodity is sold, it is included into national income. But if we are going to for resell of the commodity, that time the volume that I receive from reselling it, that will not be included into national income. But if anybody is giving me service like the middleman, that will be included into national income. For example, if I purchase a second hand car from a person, so the amount I pay to the person will not be included into national income. But whenever I am using this car as taxi, I am using this car for hire, and whatever I earn by using it as cab or giving somebody else on hire, that will be included into national income, because that is giving a fresh service. So these precautions are to be remembered into national income. Now we will just practice one sum of national income. How to do it? So we are measuring everything in dollar million. We are measuring everything in dollar million. Now, let us consider that number 1, the first marketed consumer goods. The volume is 80 million. So A. Component B, consumer durables. $30 million. Business fixed capital formation. $60 million. Inventory adjustment. $15 million. government purchase of goods and services. $35 million. Public investment. $10 million. Export earning. $15 million. Import expenditure. $10 million. Net factor income from abroad. $12 million. Depreciation equivalent to $6 million. And indirect tax $12 million. Subsidy $10 million. So we have to calculate national income. So in first stage, what we will do, we will find out the GDPMP. So what components will be there? A and B, this indicates private consumption. C and D, this indicates private investment. So E plus F, this indicates the public expenditure. And G and H, G minus H indicates the net export. So what will be the private consumption? A and B, 80 and 30, $110 million, that is the private consumption. What is private investment? C and D, 60 plus 15, 75. What is public expenditure? 35 million plus 10 million equals to 45 million. And what is the net export? Net export will be negative here. Sorry, net export is 15 million minus 10 million equals to 5 million. So what will be the GDPMP? GDPMP will be the 110 plus 75, 185 plus 45. So it will be 110 plus 75 plus 45 plus 5. Sorry, it comes out. So GDPMP will be 110 plus 75 plus 45 plus 5 equals to So in this case, GDPMP is $235 billion. Now, what we have to do? We have to convert it into GNPMP. So, GNPMP equals to how much? GDPMP 235 plus net factor income from abroad equals to 12. So, 235 plus 12 equals to $247 million. That is our GNPMP. So, what I have to do? Now, we have to subtract the depreciation value. So, to get the NNPMP, so we know that NNPMP, net national product at market price, equals to gross national product at market price minus the value of depreciation. So, depreciation is 6. So, that means $241 million. And In the fourth stage, what is that? We have to find out the net indirect taxes. So net indirect taxes will be K minus L, indirect tax minus subsidy. So it is equals to 2 million. Okay. So finally, if we consider NNPFC equals to net national product at market price, that means 240 million, 1 million minus 2 million equals to $239 million. So national income in this case from expenditure method, the national income is $239 million. So this is how we calculate national income from the given data. So remember that here in this case, first we will find out the gross expenditure in the market, which we call gross domestic product at market price. So in second stage, what we have to do? We have to add, see, this is my GDPMP. The GDPMP equals to what? C plus I plus G plus X minus M. X minus M means export minus import. So that comes to $35 million. In second stage, what do we do? With GDPMP, we have to add the net factor income from abroad. So 235 plus 12 equals to 247. And third stage, what we have to do? From gross value, we have to find out the net value, net national product at market price. So what we have done here, 247 minus depreciation equals to $6 million to $41 million. And at the final stage, what we will do? We will find out, we will subtract the net indirect taxes. So net indirect tax 12, subsidy 10. So net indirect tax equals to indirect tax minus subsidy 2. So whenever we will get NNPFC, we will get NNPFC by subtracting net indirect taxes from the net national product at market price. So in this case, the national income from the given data is $239 million. Okay, so this is how we calculate national income in expenditure method, and we have to remember some precautions. So, but still, expenditure method has also some of its loopholes, which are to be solved by the value-added method. So, in our next lecture, we will discuss about the value-added method.